It is pointless to resist.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Starlight Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digest Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 273, being recorded on August 21st, 2024. I didn't even have to look at my notes on that one.
Whoa.
I'm your host, Darth Moocher. I've got Scott Solo here with me.
So dramatic. What's up, nerds?
It's going to be one of those nights. Grand Admiral Franz is back.
Hello.
As calm as ever.
Always.
Docile as ever.
Just here for a good time. That's all.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see if Ernie graces us when he's done over there and with the Fallen Fat Chronicles, and we can break it all down tonight. But before, of course, we get into all the latest Star Wars stuff, I'm going to kick it over to Scott. Shout out our Shadow Council and everyone who's being digested in the pit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We're back. We're alive. These two haven't killed each other. It's great. It's awesome.
Never.
We kill each other. I love Marco.
Yeah, that's right. Special shout out to our Shadow Council. That is AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Appler, Brian C, Cliff, Commander Cook, Crystal E, Dennis McGrath, Don the Dad Dorn, who, by the way, I think is just finished rewatching all of the Clone Wars. I think
wow.
I think he's on to Rebels now, maybe. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Eric,
Great.
Eric
That's
Grubb.
a good chore.
I know, right? Eric Grubb, Flavy Davy, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude podcast, Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Luke, aka LOB. There's a lot of letters in there. Luke, aka LOB, collects. Mervine Bolanos, Matt Logic, Muftak is back. Nicholas Schaefer, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Papa Schmitty, Ryan, and the Star Joe's podcast. If you want to join up with the Sarlacc Digest podcast Shadow Council like these fine folk, please scan that QR code right there. Donate a couple of bucks. We appreciate it. It all goes right back into the production of this show. And if you don't feel like doing that, we've got super chats. We got all sorts of things. Or you know what? Just freaking sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Whatever you want to do, you do you. Oh, wait.
Hit that like button.
We're digesting people right now, aren't we? So we've got Gordon Skalski in there.
Gordon.
We've got Don the Dad Dorn.
Hello, Don.
Rhino Hobbies.
Rhino.
Douglas Tupper.
Duh.
He's just here for the chaos tonight. Basil G.
Basil.
Gavin Connor.
Gavin, the
Let's
dude.
see. Don the Dad Dorn claims he got both of the trivia questions.
Yeah.
Very, very
I've seen you at trivia nights done. I don't know.
Well, anyway,
I trust you.
Phantom Menace Dennis. What's up, Phantom Menace Dennis? We got McNugget in the house.
McNugget.
Whoa.
Right.
Saiku Shinobi is back. Where the hell have you been, dude?
Nice.
Welcome back.
Baby.
We got Papa Schmitty and, of course, Hellrunner Base.
All
Pop up
right.
the face. Let's roll.
Well, I know why people are tuning in today of all days to talk
Why?
Star Wars, because Star Wars is in trouble. And some of us saw it coming. Some of us didn't. Some of us hoped that, story was or content was more important than numbers. And I silly us to think that way, that Disney as a business would be taking a look at or taking a step back from what they're doing. So the big news of the week was there's no official post on this, but it's making its round through all the reputable sources that the Acolyte is no longer going to go forward with anything. If they planned on going forward, they have scrapped it. Like, that's if there was a season 2, there's not going to be one anymore. Nothing was confirmed before. They just left the series open-ended for that purpose. And I know Leslie Headland said that she has right before even Acolyte even hit the screen, it was like, I have a season 2 like ready to go if asked.
She was begging for it up front, so she
Yeah.
just made it to
Oh,
you know what?
they're petitioning, yeah.
Like I said, we're not going to get an official statement because there was
to be
never-
fair,
there was never going to be.
I don't think
Yeah.
there was ever an official statement on Willow either. It just freaking disappeared. It just
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean-
well, they announced what they were doing there. They explained what they were doing there, but it wasn't like, hey, everybody's getting on a press conference. But they didn't announce a season 2 in the first place. So why announce the lack of one?
right. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like we all saw a purpose for a season 2, but now that they're coming out and saying again,
say to be continued. It didn't say see you again.
Yeah.
And Jay and Silent Bob Strike. Nothing,
exactly.
Nothing like that.
Exactly.
a lot of empty or unanswered questions. A lot of threads that are still dangling right there. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Felipe checking in.
What's
Hey,
up, Felipe?
Before we get into that, I was thinking about before, because I know where it's really going to go, but let's start with that. Like I was thinking pretty earlier about the threads. Does some of it matter? I mean, we had so many threads before, like Vernestra. Does that thread ever need to be closed with her and the stranger? We knew Dooku and Yoda we never see them training together. We never see anything like that. That's nothing that was closed just because we knew they were a pupil and we didn't need to see it.
Yeah.
It's like some things you just don't have to wrap up. Besides some of the stuff going forward, sure. But nothing, you don't have to go back on anything. We don't have to close any of those threads. You just need to close up Plagueis.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Kent Salas checking in. Could be picked up in a feature.
That was dude, brother. That ain't getting picked up in a feature. Stop yourself.
Not now.
not as the Acolyte.
Like the Acolyte.
Yeah,
right.
And not head based.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Santo? So I put up a poll this morning on our channel, and the question was, should it continue in some way, shape, or form? Right? If it's not going to be, I think the exact question was, now that the Acolyte has been given the old heave ho, where do you think the story of Khmer, the Stranger, and Darth Plagueis should continue?
Right.
Because quite frankly, those are the two interesting characters, right? So, balloons. So the choices were there. Should it finish with the High Republic books? Because I mean, that's where the High Republic started, and this is the High Republic era. Should it finish in books? Should it finish in comics? Should it finish in a film or a series helmed by somebody else?
Animated series.
Yeah.
Or should it
here's the thing.
Should it just stop?
And here's the thing. And again, towards Chris's point, what he was saying, like you take the Acolyte as a whole and what we saw, probably 80% of it you could just forget. I mean, I already forgot. You know what I mean? But what worked in the show was the Stranger and the little cameo of Plagueis. Just that confirmation that he was there. Now
the Stranger worked.
Yeah.
Plagueis was a nice addition.
We
don't know if it even worked yet.
Exactly. We don't know what they gave us with Plagueis. Yeah, they could cut it off right there and never continue. They didn't leave that bookend, like I said, to be continued and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we
know how he ends.
Yeah, exactly. And I would love to see that story progress too. I think my biggest disappointment in the whole Acolyte thing, it's a couple things, right? But as far as story wise, the Stranger, with that, again, how we talked about that potential of him being a Knights of Ren and bringing it, because we've always said about the sequels being like, let's go deeper into the characters that they gave us, and this is a great starting point for that. Like they can really kind of project that, and I felt, and that could still be a possibility too. We'll get into that a little later on what Disney is actually thinking versus what they're doing, right? Because on paper right now it's all doom and gloom, right? Some people are ecstatic about it, like they're like, yeah, this is the greatest thing ever, we're all back on a roll. But I think that there were some things that were set up in the Acolyte that could be very cool, like very good going forward. We didn't need to go with the twins anymore. Vanestra, forget it. Like, you know what I mean? Like done. I don't really, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't even matter what Yoda knows at this point. Like, okay, boom.
No.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that thread's a little bit iffy, right? Because they went and showed him.
So
that's a bit much. So shit.
Yeah, I mean it. Well, yeah, can't sell. Hold on. Can't say at least the Khmer story. Yeah, like again,
yes.
I
what this is gonna do is it's gonna fast track Plagueis. If there's ever gonna be a Plagueis project. Yes. What they just did was she fast tracked it because Disney's kind of like, we can't let this sit here. People are going to get pissed. They might have, hey, they just didn't, whatever's happening, they're not getting a season 2, so they listened to half the fans or more.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't have the numbers. So they're thinking, well, this part works. They all want Plagueis. Everybody wants Plagueis. I don't care which side of what you're on. Yes. Right. So how do we do it? We better fast track this quick, is how I see it. So Khmer and Osha and the Stranger and some kind of
and
deal.
You could finish. And
the problem with Acolyte 2, why you can't do Acolyte 2 is because Vanestra is going to be the lead.
Yeah,
and there's no effing way she can pull a series, man. Think about it. I mean,
she can pull 5 minutes.
Exactly. And then you got to tell Headland, wait, tell you what, we'll do season 2, but you got to replace Vanestra.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
How's that going to work? Maybe that's exactly how it went down. We don't know.
Yeah, right? And I like to think that they and it's because of viewership. Again, this is why the Acolyte was pulled. But I would like to think that the story group is pulling back, saying, okay, and to that exact point. All right, well, we still have this foundation of what we've laid out. There are some good elements to this. I, for one, enjoyed the show in general. I mean, we all did. We all loved aspects of it, and we all, didn't like certain aspects. But what works could really be cool going forward. Why cut that off completely? Like, I don't want it to become the Willow treatment. You know what I mean? Where they just take it, shelve it, and nobody says anything.
Solo.
Yeah,
solo it, and that's what I was about to say. That's what they did with Solo.
We
had a great ending with Darth Maul showing up. All of a sudden, people are like, "Whoa, hang on, all right," and then drop it.
Yeah. I know. Right now, again, they do, and this is very true. They know they have something with Manny and the Stranger. They do 100%. Look at even just go to the merchandise sales, right? The helmet sold out like that. If you put a stranger figure, it's going to sell out just like that. Those are the things that people really loved about the Acolyte. And I don't think anybody that was negative towards the show saw his character or the whatever in his role of it was like, oh, this is so. I mean, there are people who didn't watch it and say that, you know what I mean? But there's
whatever
also
I had against the show, brother. It wasn't that.
Same.
It was, every second he was on when he was Khmer.
So, yeah. So I would love an official announcement. I really would love an official announcement of, all right, we're just going to take a different direction for certain. We're just going to take like elements of it and move forward. You know. They'll never do that because they'll never lock themselves in, right?
Yeah, right. When they have a story to say about it, then announce it. We just can't expect it right now. They just don't work that way, you know.
Yeah.
Got Tommy checking in.
Hey, what's up, Tommy?
Revenite. Every week the viewership was there. It was the highest viewed show every week until the finale week when there was a sharp drop.
Yeah.
It's probably mostly from the fans watching it over and over again that day to get ready for our podcast and bitching online.
At least at least 3 viewings. I mean,
the finale, you just needed to watch it once, man, and it was like, nah, forget it. And there's no rewatchability on this, dude. I haven't even had the urge, not even once, to go to it. You know, I watched it during, kind of like that to this point.
Right.
Like, I watched those fights over and over during the season, but after that, after the season ended, I'm like, I'm good. I watched Kenobi a bunch of times after. Surprisingly.
Yeah. I rewatched it once, and it was easier to digest as a whole. It really was easier to digest as one sitting. Actually, it was like 2 days worth of a binge, right?
Yeah.
But even then, it's not as captivating as some of the other stories. It just wasn't. I enjoyed it though. I did, especially Khmer and the Stranger, and Soul, Jackie. I really like those characters.
But they're
Matt Logic checking in.
Jackie's dead. Soul's everybody's gone. It's like anybody you liked is done. So it's a matter. Besides the bad guy. So then you just don't continue with the Acolyte. You continue somewhere else with a different creator. You get Headland out of here. You get some people that don't talk in interviews about anything but how much they love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right? And
exactly.
And we're rocking and rolling.
What do you think, Ernie?
Like, there was never a go for season 2 anyways.
Hey, bingo.
I was just talking about
Yeah, no, you're right. 100%.
So what is all this talk of canceled and again?
Yeah.
Like, where did it come from? Where was it? Like,
not getting announced.
I didn't know they were shooting season 2. To me, cancellation was they were shooting everybody. You know, they stopped production. Hey,
we're all hired. We got storyboards going, you know.
Correct. And, you know, the writers stopped.
Or they had signed on for 4 seasons, and after 2, they're like, forget it. That never happened. They didn't say 100%, guys. 3 seasons of Acolyte.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Welcome, Ernie. Hope everything is good.
I really got to put some colorful lights in here. I really feel naked. This is horrible.
Bro, I'll send you the link, man.
No, I have them, dude. I got lights all over this house. I just don't have them in this room.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But we're all 100% right. And again, what we're seeing is, I don't even know. Like I said, I don't even know. It was Variety. It was like all these different, like I said, reputable sources that say, I guess it was just like, hey, they probably got a quote of like, yeah, there's no plans, or now we're not doing a season 2. But doesn't mean that anything that we're getting that we got can continue moving forward. That's not what we're talking. Like, that's not the thing. But everybody is like I said, either fist pumping that it's not going to continue because, again, today's society, they like L's in the world, that the IP that we love to play in the sandbox. You know
what happened? The internet Twitter reversed, right? So you go from half the population saying, you know what, boycott Disney, F them, this, that, right, and then all of a sudden after the Acolyte piece, it reversed into nice move Disney, and the other side saying we need to boycott. We can see who this movie, who Disney's really for, and it's like, why are we doing this? I hate.
You're right.
I hate people. And then you just turn off the socials again.
Yeah.
You know, forget it.
I want to highlight OG Revenite one more time, and I really, really hope this is not true. And he believes the sharp drop-off had to do with the original fans and even the general audience losing interest because it wasn't Skywalker saga related. I hope that is not the case, because there's a lot of other story to be told that isn't in the Skywalker.
I will say this though, with that comment, I will say this. I know of people that are casual viewers and watchers did not hold their interest because it wasn't familiar to them. I do know that is a real sentiment of not our core, but the casuals, they were like, I didn't grab me. I didn't really get it where I was going with this and what the story was doing, and then we're like, it's Plagueis, is it? You know what I mean? And they're like,
that's last second. Even the Plagueis is last.
Oh
second,
yeah, but we all knew like Acolyte and Dark. Like we already knew the time frame, and we kind of could put this where it was going. Even if they never put a Plagueis, like he's around, he's there, right?
Yeah, but I heard that OG fans. I think we can handle non-Skywalker.
Absolutely.
I think because Old Republic, Revan, Bane, we can all handle non-Skywalker. The problem was some execution. That's all. Execution and poor media.
Yeah.
That honest to God, that was it. Unfortunately, the media controls a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it's just what's out there, what people listen to, what they're gonna say. Not even watch it and make a judgment call. We watched it. I made judgment calls all over the place.
Yeah.
Right?
And
it's like,
the show, because, and like I said, you just mentioned a little bit earlier, was all the pre red carpets and all the previewings, all that stuff was already kind of like they know how vulnerable this fandom is and how finicky at times, and they did the exact opposite of what they should have done. Where instead of hyping up a Star Wars story, like we get to do a Star Wars story, now it's all about this, even though the show in general didn't go that way. I mean, people can see it. I mean, they could put their own.
You're talking about the gayest Star Wars ever when she said
everything.
That.
Yeah. If you want to see it, you're going to see it. You know what I mean? Even if it's not there. Yeah.
Here's also the difference between us though and the Gen Pop, as I will call them, is that Chris can be judgmental about something in the show, but then he can also see something that is equally awesome and recognize the fact that it's
100%.
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And for some reason, even though people were like, oh man, that episode with the stranger was awesome, it's like, but it doesn't matter. The rest of it is garbage. They hate it. Even the awesome stuff. It's like, yeah, but what about that scene that you just raved about? Oh, that doesn't save it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
I know.
I saw a cool quote. Somebody said the best quality of the show was its potential for future seasons. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And that was true, because by the end it's like, okay, now we know what we can do. We got more excited at the end about where it could go, and where it was going,
and that's where the disappointment and frustration comes into play. It wasn't a Mandalorian season 3 where it kind of like ended that. I mean, it really kind of ended that story. I mean, there is still things going on, but it really ended their story. It didn't end that way. It ended with like almost a beginning of the Acolyte.
Well, it would be hard to end it, because it has to go somewhere. So it kind of at some point has to be open ended, unless you're going to butt up against.
In a way, in a way, definitely, yeah. But what they did as far as like the twins and then all that big separation at the end, it was very abrupt to not continue that. So,
but she doesn't remember it. One of them doesn't remember anything.
One doesn't remember, right? And then like Vanestra was going to go after her old pal, and then we're going to get that backstory of Vanestra and the stranger.
Yeah, and then like I said, we don't need that backstory, because we don't know everybody else's backstory with their master and apprentice. We just know that.
I want to know it though, because the whip marks on his back, the fact that she thought he was dead. I'm interested. I want to know what happened.
Sure, but
even
it can't
if they
be
come
that
back
actress.
and tell us in the comic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I think is going to happen. Yep. I think it's going to continue in comics and books that can be canon.
I'm thinking. Go ahead.
That's the other thing that people rant about Plagueis. We already had a canon for Plagueis. No, you didn't. You had a monologue about Plagueis. You didn't have a canon book with Plagueis. It's legends. It's no longer. It doesn't.
I thought this was a cool idea. OG Revenites in our Discord. I believe it was in our Discord that I read this, and I'll give him credit for this. He said like the Acolyte was this series, whatever. And then you could continue the Stranger and Plagueis story in a spin-off or whatever called The Apprentice, right? Yeah. So you have like it goes and it just progresses to Sith Lord. Like you can have a trilogy here, right? You can have a trilogy that kind of creates this like, okay, Acolyte was the very, very beginnings, and of course it set up a lot of things on the force powers of creating life, and then Plagueis, whatever his role is. And then the Apprentice is Chimera and the Stranger. And then we forget those other things. Like you could tie up Vanestra's thing in 1 5-minute scene. I swear you could. And then you could go up with like the Sith Lord, and that could be Palpatine, really. I mean, it really could be like a progressive thing. I feel like that would be an awesome way to kind of like continue this story in a way that's, again, if that whole crew is gone, okay. If a lot of those plot points are gone, okay. But those really cool ones moving forward into like a 1 season different title, but it's all a trilogy.
They're going to put it in a
different way of doing it.
Like Scott said, they're going to do in comics probably. And if we get anything, I'd take an animated couple series on it, right? I'd take that, but I don't think they're going to. I think they gave it a shot on the High Republic show. It didn't work out the way they wanted to. They're going to go ahead and wash their hands of that, wrap it up, and be done. And they'll do the cheapest way. Maybe some animated stuff, but
Tales of the Sith.
Yeah, just right there. There's some animated stuff there, and just fill it in.
And you know what? At this point, I have to take. We'll take it because I don't want it to drop off like Solo, right? Like that. Yeah. I don't. We have to, even though
the continuation of that in comics was piss poor. It was done very poorly.
But yeah, I agree. Yeah. But we did get something. So again, as much as we complained about Solo being like a cutoff and boom, but we did get because we all knew Darth Maul's back. We all knew his everything moving forward, right? So it's not like it wasn't there. It's just that you have to pick and choose what you consume. You know what I mean? Don, he finished all the Clone Wars, so he obviously got Maul's backstory. Now he can watch and Crimson, all that's the crime syndicates, right? So he can put that together in Solo and going forward. So if we do that with the Acolyte stuff, the Khmer, that's what we'll have to do. Now, go ahead. Go ahead, and I want to ask a question here.
The people in the regular chat can't see OG Revanite's comments because he's on Facebook.
Oh, so I'm sorry, guys.
I'm gonna highlight this one really quick.
Yeah.
The Plagueis novel didn't stay true to the certain things in the Revenge of the Sith. George Lucas didn't look at the books and what people call old canon at all as canon. It was just a continuation of a story. It was never canon based on his interpretation of Star Wars. So
yeah. So here's my question. Well, here's my question.
It doesn't matter. That's like what the answer is for everything is like the way that all this is being depicted and talked about and everything was, like I said, it's when did they say that they were shooting a season 2? Like I'm still waiting for Book of Boba 2. Give me an Obi-Wan.
You know what? That's it.
Give me a Solo 2.
What if Deadline or whoever reported this just didn't report it ever? Right? And nobody ever reported it. And nobody would ever care. It would just not get one. Everybody would ask every once in a while, like Boba Fett, are we getting this? Yeah, right? And every once in a while, like Tamu Morrison, I haven't been called yet.
You're right. You're right.
That's my whole feeling on it all. Like Can we get a Darth Maul spinoff? Let's have it finally. Give me the Stranger. Give me Plagueis. Like that's fine.
Because we could all be shocked by Celebration Japan and be like, Acolyte 2 is right here, guys. It's like
like this. Because again, I kept saying that too. So like, who said this? Because
there, like I said, there's some. It made the rounds of Variety reputable sources. So it wasn't like it was just out there. But
it kind of started on a. It didn't start like Time Magazine didn't come out. You know what I mean? Something big didn't come out.
Right. Variety came out with it.
I didn't.
Was it Variety that said
it? Was Variety
picked it up?
Yeah, Variety.
Oh, okay, I thought
if they have a quote from who?
Variety.
Yeah. Do they have a quote from who?
I think so. I think it was. I want to say they do. Yeah. My fly on the wall said.
That's all. That they're not going through with number 2, but then they keep using the word cancellation. So really, how good your source? Because it wasn't in play. So
we've had that discussion since the beginning of doing stuff when
vernacular
they canceled.
Canceled and confirmed are the two dumbest words that anybody people can't figure them out.
Right.
At this point in my age and in the Star Wars fandom, I love doing this. I love talking about it. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. That's just it, plain and simple. We sit here and write our own Star Wars that we wish could be. Everyone wants their own Star Wars to be what they see on TV and on screen now. And if it don't happen, then they're going to be pissed about it. And it's going to be like, this rebuttal and this angers me and like that. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Plain and simple, and just
the fandom doesn't know how to pick and choose. You know this.
No.
I mean, they don't. We consume because we all see this main timeline. Everything gets plopped in there, and we consume it. Like you said, it's almost like reporting on it, right? We don't look at, oh, this viewership is down, so they count this, and this is up, or this. You know, we kind of look at it as a whole, and we talk about and we do this podcast, and it's great. I love doing this. I think what's nerve-wracking is the fact that I know nothing was confirmed, so you can't cancel something that wasn't confirmed, but it also just kind of begs the question of like, is the story group still in turmoil because of this now? Like, is this something that they can't continue a story that they set up? Because we're not talking about a one and done Acolyte series. They did set up a cliffhanger on a lot of points moving forward, even if there were bad points or not bad, but even if they were not as exciting, like Vernestra, right? But they still cut it off. It's like boom, abruptly. So, and to the story group to not see it through, that's what bugs me. And that's why I say I know it's a business, and I know that they're going to pick and choose of what works and what doesn't. But as a fan and somebody who studies that timeline, I would love a to Z story. You know what I mean? Even if it was just like I said, at this point, I'll take a comic now. I'll take a novel. I'll do that. Right?
We'll get it over time, just like the Knights of Ren stuff. Like So they'll fill in, and probably not well, because most of the stuff hasn't been filled in great. You know, so it'll be filled in time.
Yeah.
So the actual report came from Deadline. Then Variety picked it up from Deadline. And according to the actual article, it says inside sources say.
Yeah.
The Acolyte season 2 is not happening.
Nothing. So nothing. This whole hullabaloo online is
bantha poodoo to me.
Yeah. We'll have to. You know what we'll do? We'll just what you keep an eye on Twitter of Leslie Headland's Twitter and all the other everybody involved in it and see what they say. Like Tamar Morrison, right? What did he say the other day?
But he got misquoted too.
Did he get okay?
People try to stir stuff up. He just saying he didn't get a call.
That's right.
He didn't say I was originally in Mando 4. I haven't got a call for the movie. That's kind of what he said, right? Is that
is he calling the movie Mando 4? Or is he saying like there's a Mando season 4?
That's what it sounded like. Like
he's calling.
He was supposed to be in 4, but they turned it into a movie. Is what it sounded like.
Well,
but
in testing audiences, the real Mandalorian Boba Fett didn't work well. So they have to call it Mando 4. So
yeah. Left Coast graphics checking in. I like Star Wars. # confirmed. Yes.
Confirmed properly.
Yeah, you did.
There you go.
That's how you confirm things. Yeah. So like
source.
I saw that too, and I saw the taken out of context too. It's like Boba Fett canceled. Like Boba Fett canceled, meaning they're not even going to revisit it. That's how they made it seem, right? That
like the character was done.
Yeah, like we're not touching that. We're not doing Book of Fett 2. He's not going to be a Mando.
He's never coming back. Yeah, that's how I saw that. Wait a second. Yeah, no, for sure. Well, you know what? Here's the thing on both shows. They're full of questionable decisions, right? I think they especially Acolyte, and I think that's the problem is they go in and they do these things that they know are outside of our world or outside of what we Scooter Gang is number one.
Yeah.
Right. And Book of Boba Fett and some of the ways they did things there. But then you got out of control in Acolyte with changing some Coyote. I know it's small. The Coyote Monday thing, the pop song, all this stuff. The pop song. The pop song killing me. And then I have it on Spotify. I try to make it nice. It mixes in there with my shit.
I'm really trying.
I'm really trying, but it's just not working. And
do you really have it in your playlist?
Hell no, dude.
No.
And then, to be honest, I told you last time, Skeleton Crew with this urban setting is a dumb decision. But that's just me.
That shocked me.
Dumb decisions over and over.
So weird to see.
Yeah, you weren't on last week, were you?
Yeah, you weren't on last week. Yeah,
sorry. I was celebrating my 100th episode.
Yes, but jarring, right, dude? I mean, like, I would go on that. That's a dumb decision. That's just something.
Then it totally came back with making Captain EO canon. Thank you.
Yeah. See, I mean, there's good things, but at the end of the day, there's another dumb decision where we're going to be talking about that instead of how the story is.
I'm still okay with it. I am. It was like you said, and like I said last week, it was jarring. It was a moment that's like, oh, hang on a second.
Right.
And then it took me a bit, and a couple of watches, and I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, no,
but all they have to do is sit in the room and without yes men and be like, is this a good idea? Nope. Cool. Yeah. Same with the pop song. This is a good idea? Nope. Cool. Hey, I got a Plo Koon and Coyote Monday here. Which one can we use? Plo Koon's old enough. F it, I'm going to use Coyote Monday. But okay,
and kill the Plo Koon looking
right,
character.
but reverse it. I mean, they have people that can help them make decisions. Just make better decisions.
Shocking and jarring, but to me, it's like in our huge Star Wars universe, why can't it be out there? Why does it have to be?
Why should it? There's a billion planets. Why should it?
Why shouldn't it? I mean,
because we have that same one.
Yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy. It looks the same thing, and it puts me into Marvel all of a sudden.
Yeah, and I as much as I understand it, and like I said, and I'd be the first to admit that how jarring it was. But then I started going, you know what? Let's go. Let's just go.
Well, I'm still ready to go, but it's a dumb decision, and it shouldn't have been made because we have this discussion wouldn't have to happen, and then we could just be like, "Oh,
you're right on that."
Planet,
like,
right?
Yeah,
you call it. They intentionally cause things to cause this discourse, and I'm not the nasty ones online, but I see the same shit, right? And it's like it's every time they do something like they make dumb decisions on purpose, just to piss half the people off.
Well, see, in this neighborhood, I know where the Vespa crew lives now.
So for sure, dude.
So
we did kind of mention that, yeah.
With the garage door opening.
If you don't have at least one of them in somebody's garage, it'll be upsetting, right? You need to see one.
We got Mike Hex Tech checking in.
What's up,
Mike? What's up, Papa?
Yeah, Papa Shia. Why didn't they just go back to Tatooine?
And what do we say? Isn't there anywhere else than Tatooine?
Yeah, but they got 3 different Tatooines is the problem. Yeah. And OG Revanite, the whole problem is it looks exactly like ours. It shouldn't be green grass, same trees, curbside, crooked or angled roofs, everything. Change it up.
Short school bus.
That's all I'm talking about.
It's right? the same thing that it's the same problem we had when Obi-Wan Kenobi was up here in our desert filming. It's
worse though.
It's jarring. We
all know what this suburb looks like. Yeah. Not everybody knows what a Joshua Tree is. The Joshua Tree was shocking for us specifically. East Coast. Across the world, nobody missed a Joshua. They were like, "Oh, look at those trees!" Right? Those are weird. To us, it's like it's in my backyard. Right?
Yeah, I understand.
When you see a suburb, we all know that. That's everywhere.
Well, it's like you see the size of a rat on the East Coast. I'm like, no way, it's not possible.
right. That's a dog.
As I understand that, I honestly, as I understand it, I still after our podcast last week, and I did watch it a couple times, and I just put I really did put my headspace, not forced either. I put my headspace on what the show is and what it's going to do. And again, I don't think it's going to be one of those hard hitting lore shows that we examine under a microscope.
I think
it works that way.
Acre plots.
I just think it works.
Real estate agents in here. I'm just like, they're going to, we had people walking dogs. I mean, come on, guys.
I think it's going to work.
It was Star Trek.
It was an Ithorian. It was an
Star
Ithorian.
Trek.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's making Robot Chicken real. And I kind of like that. So,
but I still think it's
when he went in for really super nervous about this job. Don't worry, let's get some drinks. It turned
again, I'm just saying right now, like I think it's going to work in this setting. I think it's going to work in the show.
We'll see.
Just because I'm
I'm good.
Of course,
it looks fun. The show looks fun. Again,
and I think that's honestly, like that's where I had to go with it. I was like, just so. Now if it was
my point was just decisions. It just makes
I brought it up.
Acolyte did that too.
I brought it up on my show too, and Tommy was on there, and he made a good point. What if that's it? It's a couple seconds because then we're seeing where they live, and then they go off on their adventure.
100%. Yeah.
Obviously.
It could only be the seckons we saw, but the point is, it exists. Doesn't matter how long, and I'll get over it immediately. I'm telling you, we just saw it. It's jarring. You got to talk.
And I think this is where I kind of like
don't love it.
Shifting that, as like Cliff is saying. And, well, what's up, Cliff? I find what they're making something that is just dumb, fun, and entertaining. I think exactly what the Skeleton Crew is set up to do.
And again, that's why Hondo needs to be in it because that puts him in that fun, dumb, setting.
Alexander Storm is also checking in. So my thoughts are that the remaining Acolyte open-ended plot will make it to novel form. Like the other extended universe stuff. At this point, I'll take it. Like I really would. And if it doesn't, we'll make up our own stuff. I mean, we obviously know where Plagueis does and who's his apprentice, and all that stuff moving forward. And
yeah, like that wasn't Yoda. I think that was an evil version.
Yeah. We here's the thing. Now,
Yoda
if they never give us confirmation, we could do whatever we want. Yoda is safe. Hashtag Yoda safe. Everybody.
Dude, as soon as we got Yaddle, now we'll never know who this is. And it was the back of Yoda. I'm like,
yeah. See,
well, that's what I'm saying. I still think she's a baddie. So if we have Yoda, Yaddle, and Grogu, here is our Sith master.
Yeah.
Whatever his race is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine you have like a Scarface or something like.
Oh, yeah, and again, going with this,
we talked about that last week. The Dex's Diner is in there,
horrible.
but I'm just saying and it's pretty close, and that's pretty close to taking it out. Just saying, I'm not going to change my mind. We can argue about this another hour if we want to. We did it last time.
There's really no need to.
It was exact. It's a suburban, earthly, Star Trekky looking thing. They just need to stop making earthly decisions. The word paycheck isn't a big thing. Yeah, it's just earthly. You guys are smart enough. You have creators in there. It's 2024. Is everybody getting dumber as we go and less creative?
Again,
the answer is
yes.
This is still the old
let's story group.
Let's make up some Star Wars names for stuff. Let's make things look Star Warsy and
not
have to put it in Earth. I don't have to make it match Guardians of the Galaxy and look marvelly. Make it look Star Wars.
Yeah. Hellrunner Base. Did you guys see the concept art with Hondo and Outlaws?
What?
I did not. It gives me hope for Hondo in.
Hondo's got to come up sooner or later, and he might as well be in Skeleton Crew every show. Might as well be in.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? I really feel like if Hondo was in it, they would put him in the preview. Just for that hype factor. Yes, for that hype factor of like fist pump hype factor, so it gets people to tune in.
I'm with Moocher Chris, and I've been thinking about this, and Mike also made the comment. I think we're too much on the Hondo train, and Disney is not. I think they were at the beginning, but the fact that we don't have him as a walking character in Galaxy's Edge has disturbed me all this time, but we'll put everybody else. And then to me, like I've talked about it, and it's very cool to get a redone Smugglers run now with Mando and Grogu. But where does Hondo fit in with that? If you have the whole animatronic there, are you just going to cover him up like when he doesn't fit anymore? And to me, that sucks because our vision isn't happening anymore, which it should totally work.
It's going to be interesting to see if they do remove Hondo from that and they replace him with, and that's where we see Din and Grogu is up there in that opening section, right? How the hell did they play in this world with the Falcon and Chewbacca, and how's that going to work? It's a very interesting idea.
Because that's what we talked about is you're going to have to shut down the worlds and do seasons. Like we said, that's a great turnaround. Yeah. And which you could do, but you're absolutely right. Because if you've kept everything connected all this time, and that's what I'm saying though, you shouldn't have to put them there and tie in Hondo. Like we know he can tie in so much. But again, as I was just walking around there again, and I saw Ahsoka again and Boba and everything like that, Hondo should be here.
Yeah,
he's part of your story, so he should be walking around out here all the time.
Maybe that's key because a big thing with Disney is, especially like Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, all of them, you're not supposed to see them in different areas of the park at the same time. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe if they remove Hondo from the ride, maybe then we'll get a Hondo walking around.
Yeah. Agreed.
You know? Maybe that's why we haven't seen him walking around.
Because he's so lifelike right there. And it's like, he's there. He can't be there. And that makes total sense.
But the only rebuttal to that is Chewbacca walks around. And in the ride, he lands for you to.
He does. He's in the video. Yeah. Yeah,
he lands there.
Wouldn't that be such a cool immersion though? Like,
you're right.
Hondo's not there. That means he's out there. And if he's not out there, it means he's there. You know, that was such a cool immersion, like real immersion. You know what I mean?
It really could, but I would love Hondo, but I think we should have seen him by now.
Yeah. We've got Mechanized in the chat. Heaps of Andor sets look like architecture from Brutalist London. I'm fine with that. Yeah. Andor is more earthly Florida. Than there is.
We also had Florida beaches too. So
yeah.
I don't feel.
And I understand Chris are blurring the lines.
I don't think Andor is earthly. It just wasn't Star Warsy because when you take out the magical part with Andor, right? I'm such.
And you start throwing around words like shit.
I don't know, man. I like the shit.
I know you say that's earthly. Yeah, that's earthly.
No, everything is translated. Every word they say is English.
Yeah.
We've got word. We're just translating it through. That's all.
Yeah. Zuri Moore. They should make a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I 100% agree. My fear, I guess, on that nowadays is they have the source material. Are they going to use it, or are they going to make their own version? Just slap the Knights of the Old Republic sticker on it and say this is our version of it. And not that I'm saying they should just do a 1-to-1 of what's out there, but they should make it very close, because that's.
I think they're going back to the beginning, right?
Yeah.
With the next movie, I think now instead of playing the Star Wars, let's go this one, then go backwards, then backwards, then backwards. Right. Instead of, like, even I was talking about the High Republic, baby stepping back to Bane, baby stepping back to Revan, baby stepping, go the other way. Just that way, 1,000 years later, not 1,000 years before, because that confuses the shit out of everybody, right? So just go to the beginning, start coming up. So do that one, do the Old Republic, do some Bane.
Yeah, I know, Cliff. My fear, Cliff is saying, my fear is that they say that there's no more source material. I know. And Cliff and I come from that Old Republic world. I mean, like we actually love that.
They've corrected their stance on her when she said no source material. They've corrected that.
She did. Yeah, that was yeah. They all know she's not doubling down on it. Yeah.
Even here, she said she wanted to use Revan in here in a holocron, which we never got a holocron Bane, right? Acolyte. Yeah, at the very least. I know that Revan and Bane were in the other one, but they talked about the possibility of using them, and they couldn't for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. So it's coming.
So
it's coming.
Here's the problem, though, right? We've got a show that went outside of the scope of the Skywalker saga, and it utilized parts of, old canon, saying, Plagueis is here, and, it's the High Republic, whatever. And people outright just, gave it the finger, and, it gets canceled. Do you think that makes them gun shy for wanting to tell another story set back in the past? Do you think, before you answer, do you think this might put some brakes on the Dawn of the Jedi movie that is currently in the works, that's being worked on?
I do think that they're going to take another look at things. Yes. And maybe, I guess you have to ask, I'm going to have to answer that with another question, but then Chris, you guys can say, but are they, you can see spikes in viewerships, right? You can see, if you can go to an episode and you can see a spike, just like everything else in this world, analytics talk and analytics kind of dictate everything moving forward, right? I'm sure the biggest spikes I'm just going to use Mandalorian universe itself, is every Luke Skywalker scene has a huge spike, right? His hallway scene, his scene with Grogu, his scene with Ahsoka. They're going to take that and they'll use that and go all it is, that according to them, is fan service. And so my fear is that they're going to triple down on fan service and give us things that are going to be awesome to see, but really have no meaning behind it. And I'm going to use Alien, the last Alien movie that just came out. It was total fan service, didn't do anything else to the franchise. So it was it was done on purpose. I don't.
Was it good?
In a sense, for fan service, absolutely. Yeah. And it's a beautiful movie. Cool. But I feel like if they just throw in this character, this background, and this character just doing awesome stuff, I feel that they're going to be gun shy on original content, original stories.
OG Revanite just posted, "Go back thousands of years and we're good." I don't think so, man. I mean, for us, the fan base that actually watches and enjoys the stuff, I think you're right. I think we'll be fine with it. I think everybody else out there is still looking for things to hate.
I said you could revitalize a whole Star Wars fandom by doing the Old Republic correctly, because you have your hero villain
time frame.
You have you have the Sith Empire with the Jedi Order, in full, like the height of their powers.
Not a trilogy. Revan, just live in that time frame for a while, right?
And Revan is your catalyst for. Revan is your Anakin. He's your catalyst for the everything. So
if it strays the slightest bit from people want to, I swear to God, people verbatim translations of things that they read in book on screen, and that doesn't Hollywood, it just doesn't work that way, guys, or else we would have had a Harry Potter series that we'd have a 9-hour long Fellowship of the Ring. We would have these that's not how it works. You've got to have some sort of adaptation, and I'm afraid that if you deviate at all from anything, it's gonna just light a fire. It's not.
You're right. I just got to be close enough, right? Because like
close enough.
Empire, everybody's kind of accepting Heir to the Empire right now. There's no big deal about Thrawn, right? Because we could have.
We haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen. We haven't seen Heir to the Empire yet.
But we're far enough in to know and to know how Rook is dead. We know all these things that are different, right? From Heir to the Empire before to now, and where Thrawn is, and all this, with Ahsoka, and things are a lot different, and they're going to be a lot different. There's not going to be a Sabayoth. There's not going to be all this stuff. They're going to change things pretty hard.
Right.
I don't think we're all accepting of that. It has to happen. So I think with Old Republic, it's kind of the same thing. There's a point Cliff made a minute ago about Revan's canon is not great anyway.
No, and I was just
the story of Revan. Like if you were to sit down and tell the
concept of him, yes,
you tell the story of Revan, it comes out a lot better than reading the story of Revan.
Yeah, because it gets real convoluted, dude.
Right.
It
As
really
opposed
does.
to, again, Cliff's point, the Bane trilogy is fantastic just to go through. Right, that you don't have to just tell the story of Bane. You can listen to the story of Bane.
It should be an adaptation. Like the Bane trilogy should be an adaptation,
one by one, exactly.
Yeah,
Revan, and have a little bit of
Revan. You have wiggle room because of again, and Tommy knows this, and Cliff knows this. Everybody who's lived in that Old Republic world is like, getting into like the meat and potatoes of all the Old Republic stuff. It gets very convoluted, and it gets like, why did you do this? So there are aspects of like what works, and if you bring it into, like I said, Chris, like a world, then you could take elements of it and use Revan's main plot line. Like I said, he's the hero and villain of the story, and it's a great story. And I feel that he could project a brand new fan base, a brand new Anakin-esque or Luke Skywalker-esque character for a whole new generation. I really do.
Agreed.
And it's a world that is an amazing world to live, because it's not just an isolated incident how the original trilogy kind of is.
We're at the height of Jedi, height of Sith,
of the Sith Empire, right?
A true High Republic versus a Sith Empire.
Yes,
let's do that. I mean,
you don't have to sell that to me. It sounds amazing. I know the story of Revan. I think it sounds freaking fantastic. I'm not the one you have to sell it to. I'm not the one who's going to be online going, this sucks. This is garbage. This is how it's supposed to go. And I'm afraid that that's where the fandom is at.
There will be aspects of it.
Deviate.
Right. Yeah. There will be aspects of, like someone, Rhino Hobby said, get the Game of Thrones guys back to do in the mix of the KOTOR. Yeah. They were pretty.
As long as they don't do a final season of Game of Thrones, because God, they screwed that up.
There was no source material.
I just finished that rewatch. And damn it, that last season, I was a snooze, dude. I was like, I don't really care.
Because there was no source material.
I was like on it.
That's the problem, right? I mean, the rest of the series, they were good, right? It was good.
Nailed it.
But the minute they deviated from an unfinished story, but the minute they deviated from where everybody thought it should go, the chaos, the fandom erupted.
I don't blame them as much as I blame HBO for that, and it's just
I blame what's his ass who's writing the damn books. He can't get off his ass and just finish the books.
Yeah, they can adapt. Yeah, exactly, like Chris said. Game of Thrones guys can adapt. They cannot write new material. Give them Bane.
But that's got to be time, right? Like I said, we've got to stop the Star Wars backwards shit for everybody. It's got to be like, let's do the Dawn of the Jedi, the Old Republic, or however we're gonna roll, and then into Bane. It's gonna be a little while. Let's do it that way. That'd be cool, because that gives us that. Then we get to the point where Scott's story about how Star Wars will outlive us happens. Yeah, because then you've got a lot of time in there with Old Republic and Revan and everybody.
I feel still we're almost in 10 years. Well, how long has it been since Disney's taken over Star Wars?
10 years. 2014.
Is it 2014? So 10 years. I still feel in 10 years we're going through growing pains again. You know what I mean? Like
figured it out.
They don't have a
Mando and Grogu.
And Grogu, and that was a mistake, right? And that was on accident that it went into 3 seasons in a movie.
Yeah.
Like that was a concept thing that just kind of snowballed. And same thing with Rogue One. Rogue One was a side project that just was like ended up being amazing. Yeah. You know, so I would say
the Game of Thrones guys so Deadpool's mouth shut.
They should have made him adapt something. There's no source material for Deadpool.
Yeah. but yeah, you know, like you know, my point on that is it's
yeah.
They haven't found a cadence yet, right? Because they find one good in the Mandalorian. And then
Hellrunner. I'll take it. Give me Old Republic there.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
Give me that all day.
And the main reason why Peter Jackson is a great fit is because the dude pays attention to source material. He paid.
Yeah.
I know there might be some conflict with some Lord of the Rings fans out there, and he took some liberties and whatnot, but he did it in a way that was spectacular. It's almost better than the books at times.
He gets mad props because he took Tom Bombadil out of it. So
yes,
he gets mad props for that.
Even though we'll see him next week because he is in season 2.
Visionary, large filmmaker.
Yeah, he understands. Dude,
that's the Lucas type of. We need to make it look like this to build this world.
Yeah.
Why have we not got Peter Jackson at some point? Why?
He's been in Middle Earth, man. He's still, I think, part of it. So
he's going back because he produced in the cartoon or the animated Rohan movie. And there's another thing coming, but yeah, like you need somebody that takes it seriously and does not compromise because the studio says to. You know what I mean? Like. No, this has to work because of this, and this will propel this. Watch, you know, like if you understand, it's like you don't have to be one of the fandom, whatever, but you have to understand, I guess, the connections why we consume Star Wars in the first place, right? You got to understand those things. And that's why I feel fan service is not enough, right? Because as much as we fist pump and love it, we do, but if it's sprinkled in, it's great, but it doesn't drive the series.
Right. You're good versus evil. You need your family feel. You need the Force. You need magic.
You need the sense of adventure, the sense of loss. You need everything in there.
A sense of adventure, going off on a journey type of thing. It's not just stay put. So to the Skeleton Crew's point, that's what it's going to be, right out of the suburbs into space. I get it,
right?
But
they need to wrap up where they're at right now in the Mandoverse, right? We need this movie. We need all these series to wrap up. We don't necessarily need the new Jedi Order. Rey's already on a trajectory after Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
We really should cut it and move to the past and take off from there, right?
Let's move forward in the past.
You're going to have so many different timelines going at once that we're going to need that freaking Venn diagram or that timeline that I made every day just to figure out where we're at, right?
Yeah. So Mike Hex is saying problem is they treated Star Wars with kid gloves. At times, I think they're sometimes afraid. But I don't know if I agree with the lightsaber thing because he says they are afraid to do things with lightsabers that they've been doing for years. Sabers hard to kill now. Well, Acolyte
killed the shit out of people.
Acolyte had some most vicious saber fights there was, and some vicious kills. Yeah. And it was like, oh, wow, here we go, right? Like that's
I think Mando's pretty good on killing. Not with lightsabers, obviously, but I mean that fool's
Darksaber. He took out a whole gang of people with that Darksaber.
He dropped a head on a desk.
Yeah,
I mean we got some pretty cool stuff. I mean,
right.
Sometimes there are. Yeah. Sometimes
you just full on cut that dude in half.
You're right. Right in half. Yeah, right. You cut him vertically. You're right. There's some vicious stuff. It ain't Game of Thrones vicious, and it's never going to be. But it's
we don't need swinging sabers.
And I do disagree. Somebody in the chat, I think it might have been Felipe. I don't know, but somebody said we still need an R-rated Star Wars. I disagree with that. I don't think we need an R-rated.
You got to be careful with.
Yeah, I think Andor is as adult as we need to go, but I don't think it R-rated. So
Cinemax Star Wars.
Acolyte almost gave us that.
Star Wars. Yeah.
Isn't that what Rebel Moon did? I mean, Rebel Moon was kind of
very.
Rebel Moon is man.
I didn't even watch part 2.
Me too.
I didn't watch either of them.
I mean, you went kissing like that. I'm talking about maybe some, Boba walks into a Twi'lek bar, a different type of bar,
and this time his helmet is on, and it's only his helmet.
Yeah, something to that effect.
A pine cone and a honeycomb or whatever.
Twi'leks.
I'm all in. Let's go.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know how that again, you have to be kind of very careful with Star Wars with R-rated, right? Like with Marvel, with Deadpool and everything, it's working because Deadpool wasn't just, well, I want to get into Deadpool, but it's working because that's the character, and I think it's set up from ground one. There's nothing in Star Wars that sets that kind of
there's no character in Star Wars that knows they're in Star Wars.
Exactly.
To be fair though, when the first Deadpool movie came out, I was reading Deadpool comics and he wasn't dropping F-bombs in the comic either. It's like that's a whole other level that they decided to go with Deadpool.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I remember Deadpool cussing in comics.
He cussed, but he wasn't dropping that. They all cuss in comic books. I mean, it's usually damn and stuff like that, but Deadpool, at least, unless I stopped reading a little too early, I don't remember any F-bombs in Deadpool.
But yeah, I mean, I was cool with it. I was cool with the shit in Andor because I think Linus was awesome anyway, right? That's talk about an open thread. Where the hell is Linus? I need that plot fixed up in Andor too.
Yeah,
he's with the Linus action figure.
I really hope Linus is up in an Imperial gear.
Same,
he definitely ain't a stormtrooper.
Same.
Right,
yes.
But I liked his shit because it fit right there in that moment, right? And I still think it could have been F the Empire.
Be careful. we're getting along real good today.
Hell Runner base right here. I would back that. Hell Runner base.
Hopper might do it in her heart. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like he does already.
Yeah.
Getting bleeped out. Yeah.
Let's just say he's doing it.
It's just a movie of Chopper and R2-D2 just bleeps and blops the entire time. Yeah.
But I'm sorry. We have all heard Chopper. Yeah, exactly.
And R2's always walking around sticking his stuff and things, sexually assaulting all the vehicles and
correct
buildings.
So, yes, yeah.
I was rewatching Rebels the other day, and that's go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Just real quick, Cliff. I don't know what you're talking about. Can you send a link?
Yes,
I don't understand. Go ahead, Scott.
Not in this chat, but
no, yeah, but
I was watching the episode of Rebels where Chopper picks up two blasters and his little middle strut comes out and he's just wheeling around shooting people left and right, and he flings some guard out into space. I'm like, I love this droid so very much.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Chopper's the best, dude.
Chopper's great.
Chopper is the best. Even his little Star Tours cameo, I love him in there too. That is awesome. Yeah, it's Chopper's awesome. Yeah. I think that is our Deadpool in Star Wars is Chopper,
and he knows he's in Star Wars.
Right. Well, Chopper would be the one that looks at the screen.
He's breaking the fourth wall. Time. Yeah,
you know what? I think he has looked at us a couple of times actually.
I think the only one that I know has is Boba Fett.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
OG Rev and I brought up a R-rated Star Wars, but more in the lines of the like the zombies, right? More or less. I think of I would say of the gore or the violence content versus and not over the top. If
it's gonna be, it's gonna be because of something like that. Kind of like would we almost had in Ahsoka, right? I mean, we're getting close to that kind of thing. The undead,
that would be okay. I think I would do that versus more or less the language and
we had zombie stormtroopers this year.
I know.
Cool.
Crazy.
Like I said, that's why I get like and I agree with this. It's frustrating that taking it back to like an Acolyte not continuing, and again that's basically what it is. It's just not continuing. You know what I mean? Nothing was really canceled. It was just like we're just not doing anything. And again, it wasn't a cut and dry kind of thing to go home. It was setting up a lot of things that they're scared to do anymore. And they should know that the numbers dropped off. A lot of people didn't like it. I agree. But a lot of people didn't watch it on purpose. Like they purposely, and they commented not liking it and not watching it. We put up a poll every single week. And number one, I don't know how if people are lying or not, but we had a lot of answers of I don't want to watch it. I still hate it. Like what? You know what I mean?
It's garbage. I'm not watching it.
Yeah. and I hate it. So
that's what I tell you how big an influence the media has, how big an influence the interviews have, and how people spin the interviews, and how we've really just got to honestly, Disney just needs to put some rules down on PR.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah. Talk about the stuff you did. Talk about what you just filmed. This
freedom of speech all you want after.
I feel this all started, unfortunately, with Solo. This is all that happened with Solo.
It started with Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, man.
Ryan Johnson is open.
Say it again, Ernie.
With the whole, I'm not going to watch Solo. There's still the people out there who haven't watched Solo. Who haven't even given it the chance. And why did you bring Darth Maul back? Well, did you see
did you know still haven't watched Solo?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Solo's, I mean, it's not a horrible flick. It just doesn't go with the originals or the prequels, but it's not a horrible flick. But
I still love it. I'm still waiting for the Lando show.
I'll watch Solo 3 times before I ever touch the Acolyte again.
And I will take him in another show. That depiction of Solo. Sure. I'll take him as a young one and like that.
Whenever I see him, I don't think anything but that's young Han.
Right.
They did their job, right?
Correct.
That's
correct. Yes. Yeah.
Highlight Justin Towns right here.
Yeah.
That's a great comment. Unfortunately, he watched every damn episode twice. He tried. He really did. Thank you.
We always said on here as we were breaking down those episodes too, and people were negative on it. Julie was in the chat here earlier. She had that feeling. She watched it and just did not click with her. It did not like what they were doing, but at least she was there watching it. And I would always respect anybody's opinion. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. It's not what we do. It's that
we tell each other we're wrong.
To each other, sure, all the time, of course, man. But that is a respectable way of going about anything in this world, especially if you want to be involved in like commenting and stuff like that. You gave it a chance, it didn't work. You tried it again, it didn't work. All right, and that's cool.
I'm impressed you gave it 2 tries, man. That's awesome. At least it's. Yeah, my wife is the same way. She watched it too. She did not enjoy it. It did not work for her.
Yeah. I do think there's something to do, and we've talked about it before, and you mentioned it today, about some of these shows need to be just dropped at once. We at the beginning they were just doing first episode, and we talked about it, and we said, hey, you need to start doing the 2 episode drop,
and they do it
and they did it.
It's staple now. Yeah.
Now I need them to start thinking about, let's just drop them all on one day. And then rewatching is what gets you your views anyway. You're going to get your views regardless, right?
Or split the season in 2, right? Have a pivotal, like a mid-season finale. Wait a month or so, drop the second half. If that's what you're worried about, if you're worried about continuing subscriber numbers, break it up. Break it up into 2 seasons. A lot of other series do that.
Yeah.
Or Justin, shit more often, like decent shit in Star Wars, and then Marvel, and then put out good stuff. And then we can keep it, so we can all. I keep it anyway, but
yeah. Justin, he said he thought he missed something here. No, I think it was just we were talking about continuing some of the good the
threads,
the stuff that was working.
And Acolyte. He just watched it twice to make sure he didn't miss something.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Like I said, there's plenty of things to hate, but there's lots of things to love.
Sure,
and.
Sure.
And again, I ordered that Acolyte helmet too. I'm getting the Stranger helmet.
Same.
It
was awesome.
Yeah, man. And again, if it didn't click, it didn't click. I'm sure that there's going to be, more things that come out.
Something else I saw today. They're all, Acolyte's not canon anymore since they canceled. Well, you guys are idiots.
It's not how it works.
It's not,
unless it's removed from Disney Plus.
Everything's still canon. It's just we just don't have the finished stories. That's all. Kind of like movies used to be.
Like I said,
so you mean they're not reshooting 7, 8, and 9? That's not true.
Exactly.
Well, right after Kennedy's fired next week.
Oh,
again. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Sources say
Filoni take over as a co-CEO of Star Wars, of Lucasfilm.
That's not how it works.
There are some other like podcasters and stuff out there that are claiming this as victory. They're like, yes, because of our backlash and our uprising, they canceled and
we did it, guys. We did it.
Which is a dangerous, thing to gloat on, even if it's true. But I doubt it's true. I doubt you take.
But it also, here's the problem. We're going to say that, right? But on the other side, other people gloat when they get it. You know what I mean? It's nasty. The whole world's nasty. You're either gonna piss off half, and I don't think it's half that you piss off right now. I don't think it's half, or else the show would still be on. It's less. You're just you're hitting on different demographics, and you see it online. You know, and you got to stick with your bread and your money is paid from a certain demographic.
Right. Again, I understand.
I don't watch it all, but most don't necessarily watch it all when you're intentionally taking it in a different direction. Right? I mean, that's just what it is.
Well, and again, I understand Star Wars is a business. I understand it. Like, I get it. But to us, as we sit in our rooms and we talk about this, it's not to us. And I like to see, I like to just live in the story, live in the galaxy that it's presented to us. And when outside influences, even if it is outside influences, change the course of the story group or whatever it is, and sometimes they're doing it for selfish reasons. I know that they put things in there for their own gain, their own stuff, pop song, that does not bode well with a lot of us. yeah. Like, it's very selfish reasons, but that's why there needs to be a more of an understanding in our mind frame. Is more of understanding of like quality over quantity, story over analytics, stuff like that. And unfortunately, they have a quota to meet, and if the viewership is not there, then they have every right to do whatever they do, change course. And I hope it's a course correction.
I think so. I just think it. And again, we're taking this from Deadline, somebody getting a source, and I might get a source tomorrow. It says Book of Boba Fett 2 officially canceled, and see if we get the same uproar. It's like,
didn't they? What was it Book of Fett or something was like that? Was like it's canceled, like it was never confirmed to begin with, and people ran with the cancellation of some. I forgot what it was.
Else. Yeah, you're right.
It was like.
What could have been the Jabba film? The Boba Fett film was almost
Boba Fett film. It was a Boba Fett film.
Yeah, and all the headlines were, "This is what they robbed us of. This is what could have."
I mean,
been.
they did have a. They did have a little reel or whatever they were going to put.
They had the if I remember right, it was like something like a helmet dropped or something, and they picked it up, or someone picking up it was like it's coming
at Celebration.
Yeah.
And counting them like right there. Crazy shit. And
I think as we were in line for Solo, when we were watching Solo, we got word that it was canceled.
No, we got word that it was confirmed that the Boba Fett movie was happening at Solo.
Oh, happening. That's right. Yeah.
And it was right after that it was canceled. Gordon's question.
No, because there is. I think they're finalizing everything. I think a new. Yeah, novel and there's a new
different. Don't have to make so much money, and they've hit their demographic in the books, right?
Yeah,
they're nailing it there. They've gone through all these. Their sales are fine in the novels. I think
though they piss me off sometimes, they are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I lost interest in them. Then I started getting into this. They sent over the Mace Windu on the digital. I'm like, oh, good. Then it's post Phantom Menace. So
it's a side mission, it's a major side mission.
Basically, I'm like, that's not what I wanted.
Exactly.
You get so many chances to give good stories, but then I start realizing, you know what? They're not going to give good stories in books anymore.
No,
not the big galaxy changing stories anymore. Those are going to be on. Now we have Disney Plus.
Well, it's because they've made that statement that everything that you see, read, watch in video games, it's all canon now. Yeah. There's no room for interpretation anymore. It is all canon. Where George Lucas never said these books are canon, right?
Yeah,
right.
Disney and Lucasfilm has said this is all canon.
That's why you can't do anything major in a book.
Right.
It has to be visual. Yeah, visual medium.
They've got to really skirt that, right?
Yeah, because we didn't have the animation or live action back then. We just had matter of fact, most of it we didn't even have the movies again, the prequels. So it's like the beginning of it anyway.
Right.
Yeah, wild.
Well, guys, let's get out of here. I know that there's a lot more because the chat was like, there's so much more. You guys were really on point. So sorry I didn't get to everybody, but I feel like we've talked ourselves into continuing doing this again next week, right?
I
So-
guess. I suppose.
I wonder what what are we canceling next? The Mamada Dawn series? Is that
it was the Pod Race sitcom. All right, it was a
They're
it was a whole
Padres.
It was a Ben Quadranero.
Life with Ben Quadranero.
Yeah,
That's
Ben
gonna
with
be so
great.
great.
Him losing and losing and losing, and then the finale. It was a whole thing. So
they're gonna do a home improvement
wins.
spinoff in that urban place with 8D8 and EV99, and they'll have a whole little sitcom.
You think at the beginning of Skeleton Crew, there'd be a neighbor that just you only see like this part of him. He's over the fence. He goes, "Hey, kids."
It's gonna be a droid that just pops up, and then I'm gonna be like, "Get me the f out of here."
You have that. You have one that yells, "Stay off my lawn."
Yeah.
You have another one. Yeah. Just
They're
all
gonna
wrapped
trick or
into
treat.
one.
It's gonna drive me nuts, dude. The saving grace will be when we see ET walking down the street. And I'll be like,
Well, I was just gonna say that if the ET comes out of the door and grabs a paper, that's fine.
I forgive it all.
I'm cool with
I'll
it.
forgive
Yes.
it all.
Right.
It's hilarious.
You be in the suburbs all damn episode. I don't even.
I got
care.
Captain EO now. Now all I need left is ET, and we're good. I mean, we had ET, yes, in the movie, but yes, come out the door, waddle down, your arm stretches and picks up the paper. There you go.
Wouldn't it be crazy if all of a sudden in Skeleton Crew, Angelica Houston walks out and she's all in her Captain EO garb and she's
yeah,
that kind of thing.
Great.
Yeah, pretty wild.
I heard her house is haunted, and that's what they say.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, I'll buy it. All right.
And then we see Alf.
I'm in.
So maybe this planet they get shipped to is Melmac.
So there are ways to put earthly stuff in it for fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Right? Alf's old enough where it's fun. ET's old enough where it's fun. You throw that in there in the background, cool. But
When
you
did
throw
we
my
get to
neighbor, but you
Melmac?
throw my neighbor's house in there, it's not cool.
All right. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody in the pit. Hit that like button because we need more likes on this episode.
Yeah, we do.
I'm gonna kick it over to the Fallen Fett here
I'll
to grace us with his outro presence. Ernie, take it away.
Yeah, man, definitely hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You definitely don't want to miss us when we're on Wednesday nights, Monday nights as well, too. Go back and check out that replay on the last of our, what we like to call special shows that happen on Monday nights. You can catch up there with that as well, too. Don't forget to hit the link below and hit up Tashi Station Emporium. Get your order in. They are the sponsor of the show and the Fallen Pet Chronicles. Get your stands, your to make anything better in your displays or use for your toy photography, you want to head over there. Does it look like something straight out of Star Wars? Maybe, but we don't call it that. Just get your order in, and that's all you need to do. Yeah, look at all of that.
Ooh,
love it.
Okay.
Again, Tashi Station Emporium. Then
Cliff says,
after
let
that,
Chris swear again for the outro. He's due for another one.
Thank you.
Cliff, we don't want to talk about that tonight. Thank you. Yes, as well. We are also having a Toy Migos meetup going on August 31st at Frankensons, where Sarlacc Digest is hopping on to as well. Going to show up. So if you are in the Southern California area, I know Rhino Hobbies is going to be there as well. Gordon, are you going to make the trek out? It's just going to be a cool hangout day. Get a chance to say hi to everybody. Hello. Do some shopping at Frankensons, and then go break some bread and have some food. So there we go. That's what's going down August 31st.
Yes.
And we will be there for that. And then when you're done with that, check us out on all social medias from TikTok to Twitter to Instagram, and join the brand new Discord. Are we going to put an invite in the chat, or how are the invites looking? We have new.
They're really pretty.
We do. Scott is going to jump in there right now. Click the link and head on over to our Discord.
I'll start putting it in the. I'll start putting it in the description, so we don't have to do that. Yeah.
I don't know if that works.
You could do it because you can change it from 7-day to never expiring. Like you can.
There you go.
Yeah, which I did.
Butcher found the secret.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
I'm still
click it
trying
over
to figure
there.
out how to share it.
Yeah, and then continue on with more Star Wars talk over there in our brand new Sarlacc Digest Discord. Check it out, and
Mike
always stay connected with Facebook.
Yes, he will not be there, but feel free to share the love. Absolutely. And then Hell Runner, you guys should do a meetup in New Mexico. Maybe.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, maybe the
New
tour,
Mexico?
a Starlight Digest.
Yeah, weren't you in the meeting?
No, I missed that meeting before. We should really go to New Mexico.
New Mexico is like third on the list. We're on it.
Yeah.
Oh, we just got disinvited. He just said, "Don't come to Albuquerque."
Oh, whatever. All right, we'll take it off the list. Damn.
Fine, man. We were already
was always taking left to Albuquerque. I figured that's where we needed to go to get everywhere.
Exactly.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I can't figure out how to invite people to this thing.
No, I'll put it in the description.
After
this, and then we'll have it permanently on there. So yeah, feel free to jump in.
That's your best way, because it's been on and hopping over there. So for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. We will do it again next week. I think our next toy chest, we dropped one Monday.
Yep.
We'll do another one in 2 weeks, right before PulseCon, and then right after PulseCon to cover that whole all the exclusive Star Wars stuff and collectibles show, that's going on. I think we're done here, guys. Thank you again, everybody.
I'm going to be doing my best to go live whenever I'm in Ireland. Just I'm going to see if I can get to some of the areas where they filmed some Star Wars scenes and all that, and see what I can share with everybody live.
Well,
if
just
anything,
film
if I can
video app too, you can. Yeah,
exactly. And I am going to Octo, so I will be on that island. I'm going to record the whole thing and I'll upload it, and you guys can check it out. Just how perilous it is to climb those steps to find Luke Skywalker. I'm going to bring the lightsaber and I'm going to see if I can find him, and hopefully he won't throw it over his shoulder. You never know. You never
so
know.
Far, it's still the worst thing in Star Wars.
Can you bring
buy one of the? But you got to recreate it. You got to buy one of the cheap kids ones and
fling it over your shoulder.
Do it. Yeah.
And
then you realize you look down the cliff, and everybody's been doing that. There's all sorts of.
I was just gonna say,
there.
There's a whole bunch, and then you're like, wait, is that a good one? I'd climb down there.
No, you wouldn't. Trust me.
Yeah.
The sacred text.
There you go.
Sacred text.
Speaking of sabers, if you're part of a saber crew out there, we can push them for you. Send us some. All you need to send us 4. That's all.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's all.
There's a ton going around right now.
There is.
And they're sending them to the wrong people. Yeah.
Bunch of twat.
I literally saw one dude open it up and he was just like, I don't know about the Star Wars stuff, but they sent me this cool sword.
What?
Lit it up, went like that, hit it against the desk, and then that was it.
I would have sabered it. I would have put it like it was my.
Are you serious?
I would be doing all sorts of fun stuff.
Chris totally would have done the whole in the room like the kid in the old days with the flinging the lightsaber around it. Chris
in the dark.
Absolutely do that.
It could have been a meme.
Yes, I know. That's what I was like, dude. Come on, click the right people. So
do some research.
Saber people. Yeah.
And while you're at it, Hot Toys people, we're right here too. We all need 4. While we're begging, I mean, let's do it.
We're going to have a special sideshow report on the next toy chest because
sideshow
yeah.
And then you show
local adult store.
Yeah.
After that,
you got sabers.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have an obscure collectible spotlight, so if you could find one, Chris, I will definitely spotlight it.
Yeah. Like a little Vader, a little 7-inch Vader.
Before we cut out, Cliff, send the link. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Remember,
for study purposes. Yeah, I don't understand what he's talking about.
You promised, Ernie. You promised.
But it's weird. I don't know. Okay.
All right, guys.
Hell damn shit fuck.
With that, Scott.
Keep it nerdy.
Yeah, that was good. That should be a good shirt. Hashtag hell damn shit.
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.